Hello, everyone. It's me, Saera Burns, and the Inviibles. And we are here once again in the beautiful, this is the Gold Room take 2. I'm actually going to take a little peek. We're just here. Woo! In my office space that I'm renting out. And so this is Ask the Invisible. So this is an opportunity for you to ask a question for yourself, humanity, or the planet. So how this works is the basic guidelines are believe it, receive it, leave it, or lend it. So knowing that whatever answers come up, even any guidance or insights or ideas that come up, if they're really here to inspire you and they feel like they're keys and they're gems and they're going to motivate you to take some really epic action in your life or to feel satiated in different ways, please receive that. If there's something that comes up in this transmission, if it's particularly related to a question that you might ask, feel free to leave it if your internal barometer, so your core truth tells you that it's not for you, okay? So I want you to always come back to what's true to you. If something I say doesn't feel true to you, please leave it. But at the same time, if it's maybe knocking a bit at that discomfort level or something you're not quite ready to look at, or you don't have the bandwidth or the support network necessarily to really unearth what that might mean in your life and all the changes that come as we take these big shifts, then you can lend it. And that's the process of just acknowledging that there's something that needs to be worked on and addressed, but you don't quite have the space right now in your life. And so almost like a vibrational bundle, sending that into the earth like a seed with the commitment that you're going to return to that and complete that and bring that up when you're ready, when you have the support. So those are the guidelines. Hello, everyone popping on. And the first part of this is I'm going to just kind of bring a little bell to give a little centering into the space. Woo. And I'm going to ask the first question. If you have a question that is private, you don't want your name associated to, you can send me a private message. Otherwise, please put it on the thread and we will go down the line from there. So just allowing this bell to come into your space, if you choose that, bringing clarity and focus. Here we go. Thanks, Donald. Yeah, it's beautiful. I have a view of the ocean. You guys might have seen the ocean and the harbor here. All right, and so for anyone that is in Salt Spring, I'm doing weekly buy donation drop-ins, Salt Spring Island, Canada. And so people have just been coming in all morning. It's great. All right, so the first question that I have is, I think if there's any motivation that the Inviibles could offer to people that are investing and pursuing their dreams, but are feeling nervous about if there's any nervousness around what it is to really pursue your dreams. I feel like there's some guidance that I'm curious about that. So this is about pursuing one's dreams and being empowered in that pursuit and in those actions. Oh, thanks, Christy. I love the space too. It's gorgeous. All right. Oh, yes. And one more, just for a good measure. can one pursue one's dreams if there are so many? That can be hard to understand what is your own and what is being fed to you by the world around you. What is a logical dream to pursue? Because you have the skills for it, because there's a need for it, right? Because your family wants you to do it. But that does not mean that it is your dream. And so when getting into the question of, is there any support or guidance we have for those that are pursuing your dreams, the first one is to reel back any expectations of failure or of success, and reel back any projections from others on what your dream is for you, or even what your dream is from the other's how do we say this? So why we're bringing this about is that many people are pursuing dreams that are not in alignment with their core truth and value and actual inherent dharma or practice and offerings to this world. Those are something else. Those have more expected offerings. That's one way we like to say it. Offerings that are expected of you. But when you're pursuing your dream, it's important to get to the core of, is this my dream? Is this dream actually something that is stemming and birthing and seeping and steeping from and within the core essence of my being in this life? Because if it is, then it will pursue itself through you. And in order to actually pursue that, we're more encouraging that one listen and witness the different signs and signals that show you it's time to step up and up level. Make yourself more capable at what you want to pursue through learning, through experiences, through practicing with other people, through offering to other people. And then listen to the signals of what's needed of you next. If it's to make a business card, that's one thing. If it's to speak to somebody in your field that you're inspired by, or maybe join forces, then that's another thing. But knowing that the impulses that you have will appear for you. So in order to pursue your dream, you must listen and recognize when these signals, when these symbols are afoot. Because if it is truly your dream, if it is coming from the core essence of yourself, we assure you that spirit, that creation has a way of putting the next step in front of you. So here's a little prayer for all of you on your walk, pursuing your dreams, pursuing what the offering is that's coming from the core of your being, birthing and moving and co-creating itself with the world. So here it goes. We allow the wisdom, or I allow the wisdom, that harnesses itself within my womb, or that harnesses itself within my creative center, to instigate right action, right decisions, right listening, so that I may fully not just comprehend, but taste and be inspired by the very creation itself, the very creativity itself that is starting from my being and dreaming itself into this world. Thank you. Lovely. Hello, everyone, popping on. If anyone wants to say where you're calling from or watching from, I'm here in Salt Spring Island, in Ganges, in BC, a beautiful little oasis out here. I'm just going to look down the lines here. So for anyone popping on too, this is a great place for questions for yourself, humanity, or the planet. And so I'm just going to go in the order. If you have a question that is private, you don't want your name attached to it, you can send me a private message and I'll go through those as well. So the first question that we have is from Christy. Hey, Christy. And so Christy says, hey, have any space? Yeah, for everyone, this is my first official day seeing people in my new space I'm renting. I'm interested about what the Inviisbles have to say about the following. Might seem random, but I'm really curious. I've been reunited. Oh, hello from Gunnison, Colorado. Nice. Hey, Donnie. All right. I've been reunited with my passion and interest in biofeedback as a technology and healing modality, which I'd forgotten about more than 15 years. Do the Inviisbles have any insight into what form of it I should look into next and how to tap into the frequencies as far as it can be used for healing the physical body? All right, let's see what we've got. So this is about biofeedback as a technology. I don't actually know much or anything about that, but I'm guessing they will. Oh, wow, Indiana. Hello, Rochelle. All right, so here we go. So this is regarding if there's any insight to what form I should look into and how to best tap into the frequencies as far as it can be used for healing the physical body. Well, firstly, we love that you are excited about something because it's that excitement that initiates and instigates just what we were talking about, okay? So as with biofeedback, there are certain qualities of, they're wanting to say something, oh wow, someone's from the United Kingdom. They're wanting to say something about, like, I don't know anatomy girl, but there's some like neuro, or saying something like neuro, which I believe is brain connected. So let's keep going. So allowing yourself to listen to what part and aspect of the people that you're working with and yourself you're wanting to focus on. So if you were to focus on supporting, let's just say, liver, then the frequencies, and this is our understanding of this, the frequencies that you want to start biofeedbacking, want to start bringing into the body and listening for, this, they're saying, so, you know, this is me having no idea about this technology, but there's something about like 25 hertz. I don't know if that's an energy frequency. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but I'm hearing 25 hertz. Hopefully it doesn't hurt. And I'm also, I don't know if you want to clarify a little bit for myself, because I really don't understand fully what biofeedback is, but they are showing me there's something to do with the brain. So either working with, well, it's okay. What I'm actually seeing, so they're talking about like brain, but they're talking about like brain stems or stem cell, and then they kind of started getting into stem cells. And I think they just want to share a little bit about the healing modality instead of getting to the technicalities. The thing we do want to share is that in order to fully heal and work with the body, you need to understand what organ is holding the pain or the trauma in the individual's body. Because different organs are going to have different vibrational frequencies that are akin to them. And so in order to actually replicate the frequency of harmony, you need to explore what it is to feel the slight disimbalance. So something that we are encouraging is we also see tuning forks as something that could be worked with this practice. Okay, so bringing those two different frequencies and understanding that the actual frequencies, they're showing me like, because I don't have concept very much of this, it's a little like confusing for me to understand, but they're showing me how something about like using tuning forks to actually like gauge maybe which area of the body is needing the most attention, because what's going to happen is and maybe they're just showing you about using tuning forks, but the tuning fork itself, where it stops, so if you naturally allow your body to move the tuning fork, and this is something anyone can try, so if you want to explore, okay, where in the body am I needing extra healing, using the tuning fork, and let your hand naturally guide itself while it's still ringing or still buzzing, and then you're going to feel a moment when it's time to land it. Okay, and so that might actually show you, they're kind of showing me that there's something about using tuning forks to find possibly the body, or possibly to understand which, I'm not quite sure, it's a little complex for me, but that's a little bit of that. I don't know if that's even helpful. It's totally not a language I speak. All right, thank you. Moving on, the next question, that actually, okay. Let's see what you said here. That actually brings, so Christy, who asked the question, says, that actually brings together some things that I've been aligning for me, reconnecting my music background to healing areas of the body that need healing through frequency. Sweet. Awesome. All right, so moving on. The next question we have, hello everyone too, popping on, is, we've got a question from Ona, and Ona says here, hello darling, I would love to, if possible, would love to know about my current relationship / the path we're on and guidance. Thank you. Oh, okay. The completed question is, I would love to know about my current relationship, the path we're on, guidance for a fulfilling journey. Thank you. All right, this is for you, Ona. Firstly, for this journey of healing and of growth, and inevitably inspiration that fuels you, we notice that there's something that is still affecting, we see almost connected to the bone marrow, okay? I'm just wanting to clarify if it's like, should you be eating bone marrow soup? But I think it's your bone marrow. It's in there. And so sometimes when I'm exploring, what areas in the body are actually being affected, there's something to do with what energy is being, so the marrow kind of represents almost like the essence that needs to be protected. So it's something very, very delicate that has the bone as protection, but it's like within that, so it's within the bone. So let's see what they have to get into. Maybe it's of your relationship. So within the structure of your relationship, when we say structure, we're talking about the foundations that you have co-created from, the beliefs you have together, what you've shared, but moreover the routines as well. And even how you structure thinking and bringing your relationship into your own thought process. practice. That these are all part of the structure that that relationship has for you. And why we're saying getting into the marrow of this is that there's something that's beyond what seems solid. So there's something that is solid looking in your relationship, but it's within that protection that we want you to start exploring. Or within that solidness between you, that there's still something beneath the surface. And so one thing we want you to look into is there anyone in your life that you either have unfinished attractions for or unfinished desires, or vice versa, possibly for your partner? Because we're seeing that there's something about a desire that wants to come into either fully releasing it. It could possibly be desire for the relationship, but it feels like it's connected to someone else, or maybe in a few people. So I don't know if they're trying to get into possibly maybe trying to understand or really bring up what that is in relation to monogamy or polyamory, like what that is to have desires or attractions for other people. Because there's something about that that's being hid by the solidness of or the structure of your relationship, or maybe it's something you're aware of, but that there's something in there that needs to kind of be brought to the surface or expressed between each of you, that in some ways, even if it's completely innocent, there's something there that's preventing a full level of safety and trust, because each of you, and you're a sensitive being and can feel that there's something there, or feel that you're blocking. So that's something we want you to explore. Like, what is being held and protected in relationship to either like a attraction or a desire that's not being met, that might revolve another person. It could possibly be someone from the past, like unfulfilled, like it's this unfinished like desire, or maybe desire that I'm not quite sure what it is, but that'd be something to look into, because it's affecting your relationship is what I'm seeing. I don't know if that's helpful. Take it or leave it. But going into that and exploring what is that, because it's in there. It's in that protective marrow. Okay, thank you. All right, so moving on. All right, I'm just going to see if we have any private messages here before moving on to the messages on the thread. If you have a message that you want to put on the thread, please do. Okay, I think we're good. So the next question we have, oh, you're welcome, my dear. I hope that's helpful, is from Donnie. So Donnie is just saying, any message for me today? So I'm going to show this, because if you're ever on and you're not quite sure what to ask, this is a great question. It's simple. It creates space for a whole realm. So this is for you, Donnie. And hello, everyone, by the way. I want to say hi. We've got Shayali says hello, Nazare, Donnie. These are the people I can see on the thread. Okay. So for you, Donnie, here we go. So keeping your chin level while you walk in your life is important. So bringing up any insecurities or any resistance or past inflections that require you to feel the need to look down, okay? Because keeping your chin up and really allowing yourself to trust that you're sure-footed in this life, that you can trust that you're going in a direction that is safe, that is beautiful, that is honorable, requires you to also be able to see just where you're at so you can understand where you're going. Because we're seeing that in some ways, we see two different aspects. There's been a lot of looking back, especially in the last 16 months, right? Possibly. There's something about 2008 which might have initiated feeling the need to look back in that year. But looking back so that you can calculate what's right for you, or looking down to see what's by your feet, what's coming your way that you might miss. So the finer details. Those are different areas that you've been working on. But what we want you to encouraging you right now, here we're saying, with bringing the chin up, is realizing that the past doesn't need to be what is supporting your decisions right now. Maybe in a few relationships that you've had to really honor the past and their stories, but right now, it's up to you to scan your life. What's present? What's available? What's before you in this life? Okay? And notice, what are you drawn to? What is their innate pull towards? This includes friendships, it includes knowledge, it includes places. And start taking a note of these authentic pulls towards what you see around you. Because these are messages from your soul speaking to you, showing you where there's a resonance with either where you're going or the support that you're going to need to really find that place of surety. And so in this moving forward, we want you to start taking a little more risky actions, okay? To following that genuine impulse or curiosity within reason. You'll be surprised. Come November, we also see, depending on how your life moves, but there's something in the horizon for you that's very special. Okay? But it requires you to really take the right steps now to be able to witness and continuously choosing your own adventure, not by what's in place before you, but what you're genuinely drawn to. And you might stumble a bit on the way because you're not looking down at all the hurdles. You're not looking back to prepare yourself from things that may have happened. That's not what's important right now. That will come. Just examine your horizon, examine your life. Use your innate feeling sense to guide your next directions. Thank you. All right, that was for Donnie. And so moving on, let's see. All right, so this is for Nazare. I hope I'm saying your name, or Nazar. All right, hi, Sarah. Could the Inviisbles give me some guidance today, please? Thank you and many blessings. Surely. Here we go. And for anyone else popping on, feel free to put your questions on the thread. Oh, you're welcome, Donnie. Put your questions on the thread or private message. It looks like you would be next. So whoever, or Rashael's next after this, and then we don't have anyone lined up. So if anyone's watching right now and they want to have a turn, please put your question on the thread. All right. So Nazare, here we go. Before actually answering it, or getting to you, I wanted to just share. Has anyone been having like crazy time with these last alignments? There's been some alignments some days ago of Mars and Jupiter in alignment in the planet in the house of Scorpio. So if anyone's a bit of an astro buff, just want to say that's been quite challenging over here. Whew, and powerful. All right, so for you, Madeira, here we go. Nazar is from the United Kingdom. Yeah, amazing. One thing that we are seeing is that there's something that has been, we almost want to say a seed that's been sowed long ago, but it's not quite that essence. It's almost as if, so I'm going to describe what they're showing me. They're showing me this image of a boat, actually, and the boat represents something that, you know, that maybe has been connected to your past, so something that's been coming this way for a long time. And so it's this idea that, you know, in our lives, there's so many different prayers and intentions and manifestations that get brought out, as many of you might understand. And I've had this idea that, you know, everything that we believe or we pray for or call into manifestation will happen, or we will get to the point of desiring it not to happen before it happens. And it's just a matter of trusting the natural, that it's going to happen in its natural alignment, right? That there's natural alignments to everything. And so what they're showing me is like this boat, and they're actually giving me a date. It's like very specific. It's August 23rd, 1998, I think, or 1999, or 89, 98. So something about that timeline. I don't even know if you were born. I don't know how old you are, or if you were born. There's something that's coming from that place in your life, and that's been like slowly making its way here. And so why I'm bringing up the idea of manifestations having their natural alignment in our life is they're kind of showing me that there's this alignment that's coming up in relation to something that's been like set forth or set into motion during that time in your life. And no need to like totally nitpick your life, but let's see what they have to say about that. Why we're bringing this up is that if you were to greet beings that have come on a long journey, it's the same way we want you to greet this situation that's coming your way, as something that is completing a cycle that was initiated back then. It's going to look in its own way. But in order to really move through what's coming your way, it might already be close enough, but is to realize and see it as a guest that's coming to your life to complete something within you. They're showing me it might not be the most comfortable, like, I don't know if it's an encounter, or it doesn't feel like it's a person. It feels like it's a lesson, like a life lesson. It might come through people. It's not necessarily going to be like, or maybe what's going on right now, like is the most comfortable way of, but to see and greet it as, what did you said she can't quite remember. Cannot remember, but I'm all about accepting new things as long as it's good, right? Yeah, it feels like it's a really important lesson, okay? And that this lesson is actually going to bring forth a lot in your life. And so maybe it's a lesson that that your younger self wasn't able to, or started learning back then, and now I'm not quite sure. But sometimes, like, the feeling I got, like, when I felt it, I was like, what would it feel like to greet this thing coming? It was kind of this, like a little bit, like a little, like, not the most comfortable, but not because it's actually unhealthy for you, but because it's something that you're going to need to grow into and learn how to almost create more space for in your life. And so I found this, I'll get into the story of archetypes, and something that I believe strongly in because it's worked really well with me is that I believe that we go through different archetypes and mature through different archetypes in our life. And so it's almost like as we get initiated into these different characters that we get to play and roles we get to play in this life, then we can also be initiated out of them in the ways that it might not serve us anymore. So maybe the lover was an archetype, and at some point in your life were constantly in loving relationship, you kind of represented that and you held that vibration, but then all of a sudden you're ready to turn into the mother, you're ready to really have more foundation and grounding. Then that initiation from the lover, or for me it was from the traveler to the mother, was a big one. I was like a gypsy nomad, more nomad for so many years. And that initiation from being a traveler and nomadic into being stable and grounded was big for me. And so I wonder if there's something about that, like something that is coming from your past because you're ready to shift into it. And maybe it's connected to that time in your life. So maybe if it was when you were a child, maybe there's something in that. I'm not sure. You can explore that. But in these times when our archetypes start switching, it can be a little awkward because you're having to make that choice of what does it feel like to put on, really to step in new shoes. What kind of responsibilities come with these archetypes? What tools that you've been using in the past aren't actually applicable? So that's a little bit of guidance I have for you, just to know that as you're growing right now, and whatever's shifting, whatever's like coming through you as you're changing and you're stepping into this new edition of you, to explore and to see it as a welcomed guest, so that you're welcoming this transformation because it's time, right? You're ready for this and you're ready for this shift. And so any uncomfortabilities that might be coming as you're growing more into yourself, more into this aspect, is just part of it. So don't get alarmed and feel like you're out of alignment if you're feeling uncomfortable in this transition, but feel it as like, okay, this is a welcome guest. Okay, I've welcomed this. I've asked for this. I'm open to receive, and I'm ready to make more space in my life for this transformation. So there you go, my dear. I hope that's helpful. And moving on. All right, so this is for you, Rochelle, from Indiana. Any guidance for me this day? Perfect. Let's do that. And hello, everyone popping on. Oh, you're welcome. Let's see, who else is here before I close my eyes again? We've got Katie. We've got Albina. Wonderful. All right, so just to give you guys the cues, so we've got Rochelle's now. We're going to do Rochelle. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And then we've got Albina. And then we've got Katie next. I'm going to double check if there's any private messages. I don't see any private messages. So I think those are the next in line, just to give you guys some bearings. Here we go. So Shayel, my dear, this is any guidance for you on this day. Keeping it clean is important. And so in some areas, we're also talking about just the simple nature of keeping your body clean. Maybe your home or the places you're staying in clean. But why this is a theme is because in order to really allow this sense of clarity that you're desiring in some areas of your life to happen, there needs to be an understanding of where is the stagnation that's been built up, either through in relationships, in how you're approaching certain aspects of your life. If you're continuously approaching it in a way that isn't bringing forth what you're really seeking or momentum, then that approach itself can also create stagnancy. So even with the greatest intent, if beings continue to try the same thing over and over again without budging, without the movement and momentum they're seeking, this goes for many people, then that in itself, that continuous experimenting, can also create stagnation in some cases. Or it can quickly chip away at what's not necessary. So for you, why we're saying cleanliness, cleaning is of utmost importance right now. It's because there's areas in your life that it's hard to see what they truly are. This includes relationships. This includes even how the world is for you, because it has to be cleaned so that you can see what's underneath everything else. To realize what is the true essence without the complications around it, without the patterns around it. They're showing me something like in regards to, at first I was seeing like a man, but it feels more like an older man, but connected to, at first I was like, oh, is it your father's line? Or is it like, but then they showed me it might be your mother's father's line. Unless your mother, I'm just wondering if your mother's like a really like strong, like solid woman, if you know your weather. Because I'm feeling like I'm wondering if I'm mistaking your mother's energy with, this might sound rude, but with the father. But I feel there's something about this father's line. So let's get a little more into that. Why we're bringing this up is because there is an ancestor that's been wanting to work with you and help you. But in order for you to actually feel open to their assistance, you need to understand what is the dirt around them too. Okay? What is the stories? Because stories themselves can be mess that needs to be cleaned up. So this might be something to also explore is there an ancestor, a man, that has stories around them or has something around them that needs to be cleaned so that you can have a deeper understanding of what the actual relationship is for you on a soul level or in the real waking life, if any of these relationships or if anything's coming to mind. Because it feels like you're the one that's going to be able to clean this mirror, right? Because there's less emotional baggage or pain connected to it. And why we're bringing this up, take it or leave it, is that there is some guidance that is wanting to come your way. But because of the stories or whatever we're seeing that's, just going to use my own words, but whatever is like I keep seeing this thing like where they talk about cleaning, it's like whatever is on top of either this dynamic or this person or different areas in your life, like they're showing me it's in different areas of the life, but whatever's on top of it requires that it needs to be removed, and the desire to remove what's truly not of the essence that wants to work with you. This feels like a whole bigger session, so I'm gonna just stop there, but maybe you could explore that and explore which line you think I'm talking about, and then maybe you could ask questions if you have that opportunity, if there's anyone that might make sense to. But there's some sort of cleaning and clearing stories so that you can have your own true relationship with this man or whoever this is. All right, thank you. All right. So So, moving on. Hello, everyone, by the way, whoever's popping on. Welcome to Saera Burns and the Inviisibles. This is a great place to ask questions for yourself, humanity, or the planet. And we're here every Wednesday, 2:30 Pacific Standard Time. And if you're in Salt Spring Island, please come to my treatment room here. Or if you ever want to just book an actual session, a distance session, we can do whole hour-long sessions and really get into some of this stuff. So my website's on the link if you need to see that. Moving on. So we've got Albina here. Hello, my dear. And she says, a good question. Hi, Sarah, and Happy New Year. How should I improve my finances? Oh, Rochelle says, thank you. I've been doing ancestral work. I've been doing ancestral work, and this brings great clarity, many blessings. Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad that that's supportive. All right, as for you, Albina, Happy New Year's. How should I improve my finances in 2018? Maybe there'll be some good financial guidance for other people as well. Let's see. Firstly, in order to listen to what's happening around you in regards to what's going to actually bring forth a feeling of financial security or sustain it, this is what you need to understand is, are you seeking financial security no matter what? Or are you seeking financial sustainability in alignment to what feels like it's part of your offering to the planet? Because sometimes the no matter what, that when that scarcity kicks in, that's when people's evolution or advancement can go way back, because in those situations, you might be shown many opportunities that are going to actually deplete you in the long run. And many people we see even get depleted from choosing these financial opportunities to the point where they become sick, where they're spending all this money on reviving their health, to the point where they might actually have the same amount of money actually available for their basic needs and their dreams as they would have if they had just listened and not taken that and went in another direction. So why we're bringing this up is for 2018, we want you to make sure that you're not choosing a no matter what direction for finances. Because we see with you is that does affect your body. Your body is quite acute to speaking up when it disagrees with choices you've made, okay? So in order to have an actual feeling of financial stability, sustainability, and to top it off, being able to say yes to opportunities that come your way, or even being able to seek opportunities you desire. This is a big one. Being able to seek an opportunity you desire and being able to say yes to opportunities that come your way that require finances is powerful, right? So for you, we're seeing that you need to get into. Is there an area in your life that, let's describe, I'm going to figure it out. Show me. I keep hearing like tax break. It's almost like there's they're kind of showing me that there's money available to you that is hard to access in the same way. Like it's like they're showing me that there's like this, not a blind spot, but that there's money that's closer to you than, and financial, like more financial structure that's closer to you, but you need to be able to think, like expand how you're going about bringing in income, because income can come through in many different ways. And when I say taxes, I'm wondering if there's some sort of connection with something from the past coming your way, like a tax break, like something or money that's owed to you. Not to say that this is financial freedom, just waiting on money to come from thin air. That's not freedom necessarily. But let's see if there's any guidance on what is between you and that. They're actually showing me to explore EFT, that there's something in your collarbone. And so, I mean, this might seem like a roundabout way, but that there's like, so EFT is emotional freedom technique, if anyone's aware of that. It's like a tap-in technique where you kind of tap different areas of the body while kind of saying different affirmations, or you're kind of reprogramming your body and you're releasing things. And so I'm seeing that there's a lot being stored here, that could be released. And this is also a very powerful place of feeling supported, like supporting and being able to greet the world. So maybe exploring, I mean, they did say taxes. I don't know what that is, but that maybe there's something in regards to, I'm not saying become a tax broker or anything. Let's just start first for releasing. And so while you're tapping, also you can start programming yourself in different financial abundance things. One thing with EFT too is there's some phrases that go, I forgive myself, so if it was in abundance, like I forgive myself for putting myself in situations where I didn't have my financial needs met and felt scared or became sick or was unable to live life to the fullest, and so you can do that, and then put in your affirmations. Like, I allow myself to have access to the abundance that is so close to me, to have access to all of the wealth and prosperity by allowing myself, by giving myself permission to expand how I'm accessing money. Because like they're showing me, it's like there's, I don't know, it's not the same thing as like working. It's not like an hourly thing that they're showing me, but they're showing me that's going to probably come in, but that there's this whole other way of you having money coming in your life that actually is almost passive in some way, and I'm not quite sure what it is, but it could work for you on top of finding something that you're really excited about. And it feels like I feel it here. Not that that means much to you, but all right, thank you. Okay, so moving on. So I think this is actually going to be the last question, unless there's any burning questions. So this is from Katie. If for whatever reason you asked a question and I didn't see it, please speak up, because sometimes that happens. I'm just going to double check in my private messages. Okay. Oh, actually, it looks... Okay, so moving on. So the last question we have, oh, you're welcome, Melvina. So Katie, my dear. So Katie here, Katie, are you still here, Katie, by the way? Hello there. Can the Inviisbles possibly tell me it says who I'm in communication with, please. I'm guessing you mean am. in communication with. So are you talking about, if you're still here? Oh, yes. There you go. Right. So can the Invisibles tell me who I'm in communication with, please? Just for clarity. Okay, who I'm in. Great. Just for clarity, are you talking about your own spirit mentors or your own, is that what you're talking about? Like some of your guides and support? I'm just gonna guess it is. Oh, yeah, sure. The voices in our heads. Oh, yes, I know all about them. A big part of this work. So for anyone that's new, I've been actually like working, I call them the Invisibles, actually to honor the invisible friends as well, because I've had them since I was a little girl. And I really do believe that a lot of these invisible friends that like kids are talking with in some way are their guides, right? And so for me, yeah, I've been working with them since I was a little girl, and they've actually been teaching me how to work with them and how to like put my foot down and how to like understand how to use discernment and not just accept anything, right? And so only now I get to the point where I understand and I recognize them so well that I can know like, okay, you're my crew, and then that's something else. So for you, let's see, maybe they'll even have a little message. That would be amazing. So let's see if any of your guides want to relay a message or want you to know who they are and that you can work with them in the future. Let's see if the Invisibles can have that conversation with them. Here we go. Before even talking, I saw this image of, I heard like sculptor, but then I saw this image of you like sculpting, and maybe, I don't think it's because one of them's a sculptor, or maybe one of them's a sculptor and they want to sculpt through you. That might be more of it, because I'm seeing this image of you like using clay and actually like creating a guide, or creating, like a little being that can represent. So for me, it's like I really love the idea of having a seat for these guides too. And so I didn't bring her today, but I have a doll that I have beside, and I use her as a seat for the spirits and the invisible ones to kind of like sit in. I know it might sound a little far out, but I do that, and culture's been doing that for a long time. Oh, that's hilarious! I tried that a couple weeks ago. Have you tried sculpting them or letting them sculpt through you? All right, let's see what else. So why we want to go about and skirt around the actual topic first. Who's with you? Well, that's a complicated answer because there are many beings with you. And they come in and out, some from where they exist in different dimensions. Some have been with you since young, 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 young. Some have passed on and return during this time in your life. You're initiated into different connections. So who is with you right now that's speaking the loudest? Let's see. So I'm seeing, at first they're like, mermaid. I'm like, I don't know if it was a mermaid, but I was seeing this image of a guide of yours that, like, I saw this image of water and of like this waterfall and like this really clear water. so there's something about that they're from, either they're from, or they're very much connected to water. So, or maybe their past life. I'm not quite sure what I'm seeing. But there's something about this, like using water as a cleansing, and maybe communicating and working with water. And so let's see if they want to share any more, because they're just showing me this image. So one of the names. Oh wow, this is getting cool. So Katie, I'm just going to show that because that's fun. So Katie says, I've been shown a mermaid the past few nights, but not looking like what people think as a mermaid. Oh, Katie, you already know what's going on. Yeah, exactly. So she said, like, I heard mermaid, but then it was like kind of a joke because it's not your typical mermaid. It's like I see her like going into this water, and it would almost be like it feels like there's like the place I'm actually seeing is like this clear kind of like pool of water with this waterfall coming down. And it feels like maybe there's like a cave underneath, or like an underwater cave, like under that waterfall. That might be a place. So this might be maybe a place that they want you to meet them, or go on or journey to, or maybe do a guided visualization for yourself and just kind of explore what is that and maybe meet them there. But there's something about this guide that's really speaking to you. And so what I'd encourage is maybe bringing in water into your space. So either having like a little, or asking, or like pouring yourself a bath, go jump in some, I don't know if it's winter where you are, but there's doing things that would almost feel like they're offering to this guide's desires. I'm not quite sure how you want to play with it, but that's I feel like that feels pretty complete. Is that the other word I heard was like this sound like Marla or something. Those sounds, I'm not sure if there's more to it, but those sounds are in their name, and then there was some name like sounds I can't quite put together. From it felt like a different language that's not really even in my tongue set, my language set. So I hope you enjoy continuing to work with this being, and they feel safe. It does feel like maybe putting a water altar, or having a place that they could actually, their essence could be. So if you're feeling like you're saying they're in their head, if you're feeling like you want to start having a little more boundaries with them, so you can really learn them more, because sometimes it's important to have those healthy boundaries with our guides so that we can actually work with them more and kind of create that relationship more, instead of them being like fully up in our field. So that's where having like a bowl of water or some place that you can welcome her in. You could even, she doesn't like I feel like I was going to say put a candle in the water, but that feels like a little much. Maybe a crystal, or you can kind of explore that. So if you're wanting to actually communicate with her or work with her, you can have like, by bringing in the water or creating some little altar or something for her that can, and then sitting with that can represent that you're ready to communicate. And there's a whole, I'm so passionate about communication with the unseen. So hit me up if you have any more questions privately. So that feels complete. And I just want to say it's perfect. We have been on here an hour. And unless there is any extra last minute questions, hello everyone that's still here. I just want to thank you all so much for being here and for popping on, and I look forward to maybe pop on next week. So we're here actually every Wednesday. I'm in BC, Canada. It's starting to get dark here. It's 2:30 Pacific Standard Time, and on the West Coast. So every Wednesday we're here. And if you ever just want to actually work with me in person, or if you wanted to do a soul journey, which is where I actually go into the psyche realm. Oh, you're welcome. Go into the psyche realm and actually explore what's there and who's there and do healing work from that. I do that. So I should just, you're welcome to go onto my website for that. And otherwise, I will see you guys, or not see you guys. We'll see into your souls next week, perhaps, or another Wednesday. So blessings to your day and to all that's before you. Aloha. If I can turn it off. Here we go.